After watching that veto, we're a little bit nervous now. It's like, oh, boys, what's happened?
It's a strange one, to be honest, because Singularity, they're pretty good on a lot of the maps that SK are good on as well. So I was kind of like feeling that maybe they would just want to go in and just go into the Lion's Den and just go into their map and see what they could do. And somehow that has happened in some like shape or form, because they're playing on Cobblestone now.
Yeah.
To be fair though, like Cobble, pretty good Danish map. So
it's all right.
Speaking with from history,
it's not a bad one, because they're around the 60-70% win rate on this map, so it's not a bad one for them. But you have to think of
teams like SK.
Exactly, that was going to be the point I was going to make next.
After today, it's going to be 100%.
He believes.
All right,
absolutely believes.
We'll love you and leave you. Enjoy the cast.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, what a game to start on, and what a map now for Singularity to try and do something with. This is such a tough task. It's not understating the fact. There was a couple of maps we thought might have been in the pool. You're discussing Mirage, a possibility. Another great map, of course, for SK. There's no disputing that. But maybe something to work with, but Cobblestone. This is, Lambs willingly jumping into the slaughter here, possibly.
I really want to know. I'm gonna talk to the guys like afterwards to find out what the thought process behind this whole veto was, because it seems a bit unclear to me, to be honest. But on the other side of the fence is kind of like, we don't know what Singularity have been preparing.
Exactly.
Like I'm pretty much in contact with these guys almost every week, and they haven't told me anything because they are just locked down. Another thing is that they've been doing exams. All of these guys are in school right now, so they have exams now as well. So they've been working like 14-hour days with the exams and with preparation, so no one really knows what they're going to do.
Yeah, the exams might be grueling, but this could be the true task coming up now. SK Gaming on Cobble, it's always a masterclass, always beautiful to watch. And the first thing for Singularity is that start. Pimp already highlighted it. You want to get that under your belt, you want to get that building. Put SK Gaming on notice, make them have to work for this one. But it's not going to be easy. SK Gaming, as said, back-to-back major winners. These guys know what's up. Already Taco going for a little bit of a play there, just going to be testing out towards Plat.
Yeah, look at that. Fur just getting so much map control, so much information early on into the round by this push right here. Phelps getting into a good position on Plat as well. So right now it's looking as we would expect for SK. They know exactly what Singularity are doing, where they're placed. And right now it's going only 3 flashbangs and a smoke for Singularity. So they need to have something insane lined up here, else it's going to be really hard.
And I'm hoping they do. I want to see something from these guys. I want to see why they've done this.
Yeah.
So Fur has to be careful. He's dancing that fine balance between information and over-pushing. Now you can see exactly where Singularity are waiting. They want this to happen. Fur, caution is key. Now he does get picked up, so that's an opportunity. They're now going to have to at least split aside the CT side. We've got a couple of players rotating back over. Now this could be the hit. This is a nice little throw piece.
That's a really good flash.
They're not actually going for this hit though. Look where the bomb is.
Yeah, it's a fake. And now Luki has to open it up, and he's the entry fragger for this team. He has to go in first and get that kill. The rotations are coming in though.
Yeah, and we've already got a couple of players on the side for SK waiting for this one to happen. Decent little bit of a crossfire. Nice work isolating one. They need to push as a collective here. Singularity being picked apart. Finally, Insta does bite back, but by this point they're down to 1 and it's not looking so good.
Now there we go. Phelps with the last one, and that's going to be a 3K for him. But actually, I kind of like the idea behind the strategy. The final execute was not as good as I expected from Singularity, but you're going into this game. You know you're going to play a team that's so much better than you. And as I said on the desk, teams like VP, teams like SK, they fall into this category where they don't give you any respect unless you demand it from them. So they're expecting SK to push out and be aggressive. So actually it's just holding a passive angle and getting that first kill. And it's pretty much down to the final execute. They have that one-man advantage, so I thought they could have done a bit better, but now, quick push, Tech 9, just mow down.
Yeah, that UMP just going to work. Taco not giving anything up at this sort of point now. Phelps can be the next in line. Holding nice and close, the molly's being put down. So much utility on the SK side. They don't really need to budge yet. Singularity haven't forced much out, and Phelps, he does check the corner, but still dies to it. So, at least they pick up one. It is only a UMP at this point, but something more can be built, and again, Cold Zero going to be trying to push for this. Maybe a lack of respect could get a couple of kills going for these guys. Singularity gifted a bit of an opportunity here. Not much, but a small window.
And that's all they need. It's going to be the hardest task of their lives. We thought the hardest task of their lives was the Copenhagen Games, but now they ranked up. They've gone to the big leagues now.
And now if you're SK, surely you just kind of halt.
Oh yeah. There's no reason.
You shouldn't be going back in again. No, Fallen is. He wants to get this back and again falls to the Tech 9. This is brilliant from Singularity. This has got them a chance in this one. And already Taco being down to what? Under half HP. This could be big for these guys. They are slowly wrapping towards A as well. Not massive amounts of time, but they put this one pretty much in the bag if they get that good sight hit. Finster can get a decent bit of control here towards A, get somewhere locked down. This could be perfect. SK know they've made a bit of a meal of this round.
They already 1T on the side, and the remaining 2 comes in from middle. And now Fur has to come in with the pop flash.
Well,
Gets the pop flash in. That is perfect timing.
Yeah, 1 HP now. That nade should do it, if not the UMP. Now the bomb's loose, and he split the last 2 players up. He doesn't know that yet. He might do now. Both try to pressure, and both might fall. Fur finds Insta. Now the bomb going to try and go down, but they could pressure him quickly. No, he's going to get the bomb plant at least. Tech 9 to hand, and Fur's pretty low. Taco a little bit better there. See how he plays this one out. 1v2. No, this could be sexy. CS, that's 1. Looking for the follow-up. 1 shot will do this. Fur gives away the position, goes for the tap on the defuse. No! He goes a second too early. Knees weak, arms spaghetti, and it will be SK to keep this one together.
Yeah, and Console is one of these players who... his role is the support role, but that doesn't really like categorize him well because he always goes into duels, and he's actually he's kind of like a Sipnix in a sense. Sometimes he just gets into these clutch situations, and he's always on point, especially with pistols. And we see it here with the Tech 9 getting the 2 frags here, and also in that like final 1v2, he actually makes the correct decision all up in that last duel, and then he misses a bit, and that's fair enough. Like has so much pressure on him. He's in a 1v1 against the crazy player.
But SK are going to be a little humbled by this eventually. They do have to realize, okay, Singularity do have a little bit of fight back to them. It's not going to be just a walk in the park. There was so much aggression from SK throughout that round. Even late round, trying to push up for information on B. This map is so difficult to deal with any sort of, or create any CT aggression on, I guess. We know it's just notoriously tough. So, again, SK trying to do that mid-round with nothing other than like UMPs and just going for the dry fight. You know what sort of mindset they're in, and to a degree, you have to play to your own level as well if you're SK. You can't just be 100%, allowing Singularity to play their own game. You've got to be able to push that marker and be like, we are the double major champions. We have to play like this.
Yeah, definitely. And also right now, with the 5 deagles coming in, this is something that has started to come back into CS, picking 5 deagles up. I remember back in Source, that was the thing to do, the deco. And like, it was a 50-50 gamble if you won back then.
Deagles was so OP, it was disgusting.
it was stupid. And a lot of these players, especially on the Singularity, of course on the Singularity side, are from that Sea of Source era and from that like kind of style where you can come in with pistols and just do damage. And we see them also against like lesser teams. They bank on getting pistol rounds. And they do it again and again. But can they do it against SK?
They're making it costly so far. Losing out on Phelps is good. Any additional sort of, I guess, dent they can make is perfect. Fallen not seeming too fast, going to upgrade to the Deagle for himself rather than P250. And could have had something there, but no. Cold Zero closes down the end. They lose out on 1, but it's fine. SK needed to keep bodies alive, though. Keep that economy building up here. They're on, what, 4.8k around that marker, so it's all about kind of refining the money now, trying to build up that bank. And, well, for Singularity, again, they're getting close, but they need to start really getting into SK.
Yeah. And I like the fact that you talk about the economy, because that's exactly what SK did in that round. Fallen on a P250 and another player on an MP9. That's exactly what you want. You survive with a couple of weapons, and then you have that UMP set up right now, where they're still conserving economy, and they're constantly building it up.
Straight in for the double AWP as well, SK Gaming. They're not holding back at all. They want to get this one under wraps. Fallen and Taco going for that. Fallen playing pretty much solo A. He's got kind of the rotate coming from Fur, so Fur can just pull himself over if Fallen feels uncomfortable or maybe get some pressure. It's a nice play so far. Nothing really shown. Utility kept on both sides. Singularity haven't forced out much from them yet, though.
No, and that's actually one thing I really like about a double AWP setup. If you play that with 2 UMPs as well, because then you can play the UMPs close range, for example, play that in drop, and have those AWPs take the long range battles. And that mixture actually works really well on the CT side. And Fallen misses a shot, and Insta wins the duel with an AK. It's not even a headshot.
And Fur is isolated. That's the problem now. He's going to be calling for help at this point, just hoping that someone can come over.
That was a weird entry.
Fur's not heard any rushing or like quick hit off the back. He's not seen a smoke out go down towards the door yet. So again, maybe causing a little bit of waiting. You can see him looking for information here, trying to even the odds back to maybe a 4v4 at best. But now the hit's slowly building. Still has their utility though. Smoke goes in, denies the hit coming through fast. And now they have to wait. He does have support now coming through. 2 players already pulled themselves over towards A. And now Long has 3 of the T side working their way up. Yeah,
this is going to be a very, very hard take from the Singularity guys. SK, just everyone aside, but Insta just opening up. Now 2 players on the side with their USPs, UMP 45s, and they can't do anything. Insta just cleaning them up. 3k from him. And now Taco, all alone with an AWP. 1v5. First buy round comes in, Lauren, and Singularity. They just take it.
Yeah, that was perfect. That opener on Long was great. Fur felt so pressured. They didn't instantly hit, no. They held back a little bit. There was a nice bit of timing. They were isolating SK players. The crossfires weren't able to come into play. Singularity. All right, we might have a game here.
Yeah, and also like they get into the side, and SK knows the side they're gonna hit, and they still lose out on the duels, and that's something that I would never expect in this kind of like situation, because individually you cannot deny that every single player on SK Gaming is individually better than any single player on Singularity. So them losing out on 3 duels straight in a row is so weird. But then again, Singularity, they came here to fight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They've got the point to prove, right? And if they start getting to the heads of SK, brilliant. And that double AWP investment could get costly down the line. That's the shot that really kicked it off at the very start. That AWP going down, isolating Phelps now. These are all clean 1v1s he's getting here. Yeah. That's a nice adjustment towards the side, but still, able to get 3 1v1s the first is always incredibly tough, of course. You're getting past the AWPer, but very well played, capitalizing on the fact that they just weren't able to set up well enough, even though they had 3 players basically towards A at that point. Very rare you'll ever have that for a CT side, having that many players in the right place and still losing out.
Yeah, and also Insta is this catalyst in-game leader, so if he gets going, the rest of the team gets going as well. And that was something that I noticed at Copenhagen Games, is that he got really fired up and he was getting frags. Of course, ANJ back then was the mastermind, not the mastermind, but the master of that team. He got all the frags and everything. But now they're kind of in a role where Refresh is not in the same position as ANJ, so everyone in that team has to step up. And Insta is, if he can do that, then well, they can do something here, and this might not just be as one-sided as we thought.
Nice, so the deep smoke comes out from Taco, going to allow himself further control towards B platform, fighting for this one. Considering they do have slightly less to work with, you kind of have to do the same. Drop control about to be exerted by Singularity. You can see the smoke being lined up, the mollies coming in. And there it is again, Fallen gets outdone. This time no AWP in hand, of course, but it again puts Fur in the same sort of predicament. Isolated in middle, he's called for the rotate. But I'm wondering if Singularity have got a way of punishing this. They last time grouped on long and went for the hit, and it went so well. But Taco still has so much control on B, they can maybe afford to kind of just chill this one out for now. 2-2 split on either side.
And this leaves Refresh open to get into drop and just take this kind of map control and maybe come in the back and make some noise on that B bomb side. At least keep the 2 CT players on that B bomb side. So it's going to be a 4v2 on that A bomb side when the hit comes. Now, let's see how SK are going to rotate. Phelps with the smoke though.
Yeah, that's perfectly done by Phelps. That's very... Oh! That's the shot and a half. That's the AWP down and B platform open. Couldn't follow up, but spots out Coldzera, and now they know the plan. Instant flash comes out. He's trying to hinder it, buying time for his teammates to get over here, but Coldzera's going to have to deal with 3 players coming through. Phelps can't help him. Insta's there. Bomb's going to go down. This is brilliant from Singularity so far. Rotating on a dime, and now spotted out. Already gets the tag on one console, closes it down. It's Fur on the retake, and I think he's realized he can't do this.
And it's not because SK are messing up, they're just losing the individual duels, because like in the instant that the push goes towards that B bomb site, that they get the pick from Refresh, Fur goes straight into the back and rotates really quickly. So they have the whole rotation on point, but they're just losing the duels. And this is, yeah, it's kind of weird to watch, because this is not what we expected. And I'm probably the most biased caster in the world for this game, but I had no idea. Like, I would say now, getting 1 or 2 rounds and playing like this, they're good already.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I'm so impressed. Now, they do lose out on the players in the end. That's a small silver lining and AWP recovered for SK. That's fine. But at the end of the day, if you're SK, you're sat there like, you're still fine, let's be honest. You're still falling at the helm. You're still calm and collected, but in the back of your minds, you might start to get frustrated, because you shouldn't be losing out in rounds like this. It's not cheesy stuff from Singularity. It's not like they're pulling off like cheesy plays, or like, you know, they broke the economy early and they've run with it. No, they've done the hard work and kind of won out the rounds that you normally see SK really getting on the belt. We'll see if they can run with it now. They see if they can keep that CT-sided money really crushed down. Quick hit coming out from Refresh as well. Instantly though, Fallen just gets swept aside. This is perfect from Singularity, and they're not stopping. The flash train continues. The smokes are in. Look at those deep smokes. I love that. Completely leaving the site clear and allowing them to push through. One might have missed there towards the door, and it's allowed a little bit of respite for Phelps. But still, what can you achieve from this point? 5 alive against you.
Yeah, 2 deagles as well on Max 7. There's just no chance, and Fur is definitely going to save this one. There's no reason that he should go for it, and he's flanking all the way. Well, he's not flanking, he's going to hide and T-spawn. Coldzera is probably going for some extra kills. But the one thing that I really like about this, of course, this is a very set strategy. They have all the smokes prepared, but the change of momentum and pace. They have 2 slow rounds where they just go around and take the duels and take the picks. And now when they have kind of like SK in a corner, they know their economy is not good, they go for the quick play. And that is the perfect way to do something like this. They know exactly how to master their own pace. Right now they're getting Fur as well. And that's not just the Max 7, that's also a lot of utility gone by as well. Coldzera is going to try to save his deagle, which I think he'll be allowed. They don't really care about that. Yep. 5 AK surviving though.
it's really
Economy is going to be really good now for Singularity.
Up on almost 6k, sitting there full buy almost already. They had the armor, they had the rifles. I'm thoroughly impressed because they're playing not without fear, but the fear of the name of SK. Normally when you're an underdog, you're playing someone like SK, you're going to be nervous. These guys are always going to out-aim you, but these guys are playing through that, and we're seeing this very shoddy buy from SK. Again, it should be rinse and repeat here for Singularity. If they can keep this money down from SK, that's so good for them. Fallen again, denied the early peek towards long. Singularity going through the motions here, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, not missing a beat at this point.
Yeah, before we went live, I had a conspiracy theory, Lauren.
No, if you didn't say it at the start, you don't get to play this card.
I'm not going to play it.
You were going to play it for Mirage, and I'd have let you have that one. Cobble, I think we both went,
I'm just going to say, what if Singularity, they knew exactly that they were going to play, this is the map that SK Gaming likes. This is what they prepared for. I'm not going to say that's the case, because it's not, but what if? And the Earth is flat.
And if I was Singularity, and let's say we won it in the end, right, and it all went well for us in the interview with Parler at the end, I was like, yeah, no, we are masterminds, we planned this from the start. Just lie through my teeth and hope for the best, right? But no, this is good so far. But the thing is, right, as much as I love saying this, and I love a good storyline and an underdog, they're 3-3 at the moment. Good stuff, good rounds. The way they're playing out is good. But the problem is that really comes into play here is that they may not have the depth that SK have. SK Gaming can fall to a million different things. They have a million different ways of doing this. Singularity, I don't know if they do. They might have, a good couple of tricks up their sleeve so far. They've got a lovely style of, the way they're playing. They're pulling the rotate. They're actually getting in SK's head, which is very impressive. And they're, isolating players. Everything's good. But SK Gaming should be able to adapt down the line.
And that's why I'm not worried at all for SK Gaming.
Not yet.
All those reasons that you just gave are absolutely spot on. For close range with a max 7?
Oh, you hate to see it, don't you?
Yeah. And just a standard, pretty much A take, rotate around, run down the clock, 10 seconds to go, get that bomb down. You're up against a shoddy buy, so Singularity just playing it textbook.
But they've also done two different styles of kind of anti-ecos, right? We saw that very fast B coming through, a lot of power coming down. I think there was still an AWP up at some point with Fallen, and he still had that, trying to play towards Plat. And now they switched up again. There's kind of a little bit of a tender towards B, fallback hit A. It's hard to read. It's good stuff. I'm thoroughly impressed with these guys. So I want to see that fall buy from SK again, see what they've come up with in the last couple of rounds. Because there should be an answer. If there isn't, and maybe a reset could come through eventually down the line, things could look very good for Singularity. But for now, it will be another on the board. Money gets even more stable. 5 alive, all rifles up. Bomb plant. Could you ask for anything more?
Not really. This is the perfect start for Singularity. And right now, they're kind of like the masters of their own destiny, which is something that you wouldn't expect in this game, because you would expect SK to dictate every single second of this. And so far, they haven't. So Singularity, they have all the cards in their hand, and they can decide what they want to do now. But
straight back to the double AWP.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I would like to see them try double up again, because then it will either be SK Gaming just crushing it, or Singularity now besting them double up twice.
And this is what terrifies me though. If they go for a quick hit here, because let's say you can read this. You can read this as a go-to. Oh, please do it, Singularity. Do this for me. Taco, let's see if you're ready. I'm wondering if they're just going to go for a really explosive hit. We'll see what they go for at the moment. They need to have an answer to what they're up to. Here it comes. This is so nice. And now SK Gaming are preparing. They're just battling down the hatches for the breach. Now Taco finds one, spots another, can't deal with it. Insta is through. Console's there. We're down to 3v3, and SK are locked out of the site. But where is the bomb? Still on the stat, not planted yet. Insta does get a bit of attack through the smoke, but still, they need to calm down for now. They do have the plant, but it's retake time, and this is still possible for SK if they get a pick pretty soon.
Yeah, they need this opening pick. See here, post-plant position is perfect for Singularity. They have one nade to go. And this is a play coming out of SK to retake this. If this fails, then they're going to have to rotate away and save their weapons.
Nade connects. Fur now damage. The hit comes through, and that's perfect. What is going on? Cold Zero goes down. It's down to 2 players, and they don't look fussed. They don't look flustered. They're locking it down. That flash wasn't good, but it doesn't matter. It's save time now for SK. And another brilliant round for Singularity. SK Gaming, what is the answer here, boys? Because you're going to have to come up with one fast. Fur does make it out. AWP saved with Fallen, so there's a silver lining, but those double AWPs are expensive. You look at Fnatic's CT side as of late, depending on the double AWPs, right? They need that beside them. It works very well. But when it doesn't work, it is a nosedive.
Definitely. I'm really curious about what the communication is like right now in SK Gaming's camp. I would love to speak Portuguese and understand what they're talking about right now, because this is not the first time we've seen this kind of like them forcing around. It's kind of like they have the AWP and the UMP 45, then forcing around that, not getting a perfect buy. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're behind like they are right now, because of course they're losing duels in the big rounds, but this is their third kind of like weird buy they've had so far. And unless you can get some opening close-range kills with those C-75s or UMP-45s, it's going to be really hard to win around it on this T side or CT side. And now Singularity pushing in B once again.
Where's the molly, though? They didn't molly out the corner. How is Phelps allowed to get away with this? He does find one, but was dealt with. A good trade eventually from the T side. But I started to worry. I started to fret, but they do keep it under wraps. Good smokes up again. Fur going to try and tip the scales by getting up close with that UMP, but it's being watched. If he steps through that smoke. Yeah. Oh, good timing on the flash. Lovely work. Look at this. Absolutely brilliant timing from SK. Whether or not it works out is a different matter. And thus far, it might be a no. Fallen. Can you do anything to save your side right now? This ship is sinking. And time is ticking. No kit on Fallen either. He needs to make his mind up fast if he wants to really commit for this, or if it's time to back away. No pick being given. This is patient play. This is calm. It's collected, but where is your head at there? Not even playing into this. Maybe felt he already had it, but a tick on the bomb, but now knows where he is, what is going on. Fallen can't get it done. He tried his best, but sometimes you just don't succeed.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. But once again, like in a 1v2 in a pressure situation where your team is behind, Fallen is probably the one guy you would like to have in that clutch.
Of course.
He is the most ice cold in the entire world in that
Doesn't
situation.
feel pressure, just...
No, yeah. And also on Cobblestone, we see him do so many memorable clutches, especially with the AWP and also close range. So, but now this is a buy that I'm interested in, because of course they're lacking utility, but they all have M4s or AWPs. And this is something that we only pretty much seen one round so far in this game. So SK Gaming, this is now or never pretty much in this first half. Of course, we have the second half, everything can change, we all know that. But in this first half, if they lose this one, I fear that Singularity is going to run away with the momentum and at least get 8 rounds on this T side, which is perfect for them. This is way better than they could have hoped for. And Taco starts it off. And that's a good beginning for SK.
Finally getting a bit of an opening pick without an instant trade off the back of it. It feels like they were so consistently getting right back at them. There was no free pick anywhere. Fallen was consistently punished before. Now let's see if he can rise to the occasion. Yes, he can. Nice work from the double ops. Taco and Fallen both getting into this one, picking apart Singularity, and they're down to 3 now, so limited options, but they could always group and just hit up on long. But again, already Fallen adjusts, falls back a little bit, Fur controlling towards middle, and SK wait.
And this is such an important round as well. If SK Gaming can turn this. Still a lot of utility on the T side, so 3 smokes, and let's see Fallen.
He's not feeling pressure, is he? Let's be honest about this. Cool, calm, no worries. Flash comes out, still fine. That's the Fallen show you want to be seeing. 3 kills in that round, enough to stabilize SK Gaming here. And my word, did they need that. That felt like a while since they had a round like that, where it just seems like everything clicked individually. They got that first pick unanswered, and then the other AWP came through. That's the double AWP setup you want to be seeing.
That's what we expected to see, let's be real, this round here. But Fallen finally stepping up his game to a level that we all know and believe he can be at, and this is just standard Fallen here, and he goes again for the aggressive peek towards long A, but once again, Singularity grouping up towards B. Phelps is on tree spot, and see if they want to do this quick take again. See if the smokes are going to come down from the T side. They have 5 Molotovs as well, so they're fully kitted up.
Be tough for them if they go for this now, considering there's the tree and the coop position. It pulls the attention both sides. So now you can see a route being made there, actually. Not too bad at all. Phelps, though, will be played in eventually, but they do have a bit of a step towards the site. Phelps still stands up here. Does eventually dive in. Gets away scot-free with 1, but finally answered on. AWP comes through. It's a 2v2. Bomb yet to cross either. They're stuck on the stairs, and with the AWP still up in Fallen's hands, you know that's going to be a tough cross, but he's actually going around the back. So again, let's see if he can find this pick. If a pixel shows, and it did, but he only got the tag through the wall.
Yeah, that's a problem for Rixo right there, because he didn't know exactly where Fallen was. He just felt the shot, and then the round pretty much ends there. Really nice playing that 2v2 from SK Gaming, and that's... From the T's perspective, in that situation, they made 2 big mistakes there. Just in the 2v2, the whole take also had a lot of mistakes. But it's very hard, as you say, when you have chicken coop and tree position, and you have to find out where all those players are, and you can't, like, look at all the same positions at the same time. And also when that flash comes in and he just pushes, it's very hard to deal up against that. But 5-6, still good for Singularity. They still have the money for the AKs, but I think the bank is about to be broken now.
Yeah, finally, and SK, of course, stringing rounds together, keeping their money afloat rather than getting reset. You always get that horrible feeling like as soon as they win a round, Singularity just gave them it just for the reset potential. It's fine. Just, you know, ultimate gamers. Fallen, though. Playing a little differently, they switch things up. Fer now playing very up and close on long, playing that kind of passive angle, and Fallen playing over by the door. So a little bit of a switch around here, and this could be a read into what Singularity are up to. We'll see how well this pans out. Oh, nice timing on the flash. Very well done. They do have middle control, but now Fallen doesn't land the shot that looked on, but maybe just too many bodies in one place. Piling up towards middle now. coldzera gets himself in a good spot here. Good counter flashes, hindering their approach, trying to slow them down, but no. Console to find one. Fer did bite back earlier, so he's still up on long. And now Fallen gets played in. Not ideal positioning, but he's got support, but not for long. Didn't expect to be up on the APC, and that's a hit and a half. Singularity don't drop the ball, don't feel threatened. They just retain themselves and stay in the lead.
Okay, so if you're watching this at home and trying to learn how to play Cobblestone, this is how you do a mid push. That was
nice.
Perfect. The timing of the flashbang against the AWPer, because you know the AWPer's always going to watch that angle. That timing was spot on. And then they take the side, they clear all the correct positions. Everyone has a role. You clear this, and everyone knows exactly what they're doing. And that's what I love about Singularity, because the individual level is nowhere near SK's, but they are structured.
But the thing is as well, that was one of the first rounds we saw Fallen really pressured playing in that spot. So they just do that through the fact of knowing it's a possibility. It's not like oh well, Fallen's been here every single round. No, normally it's Fer playing, you know, pretty close towards middle. But it's just, you know, go through the motions, tick all the boxes, and it should work. The theory craft is right for Singularity.
Yeah.
So that's forced the money right back for SK. It's not a completely awful scene. They still have the 2 rifles, a UMP. It's not the worst in the world, but it's far from perfect.
Definitely. And Fallen on the scout here. The same position as before, so if they flash him out again, they actually don't, which is okay, because you know he probably can't afford an AWP in this situation, so you can peek him that way. Fer, as you said, playing close range as he usually does in that mid, and right now 3 players on that A bomb side, and the 2 B players are stacked in the exact same position. So this is all up to Singularity. SK Gaming are just waiting now, waiting for some kind of bit of information, and then they're going to do their mid round call after that.
They do have long control now, to a degree. They've expressed some desire to take it over. Console does have some play towards middle. Nice little underhand flash does force Fer to be put on notice, but Fallen's still going to find one. Falls back, tries to get away cleanly towards side, might not get away with it. No, Rixo does find him in the end, catch him in the heels. Fer still standing as well, so he can deny any play from middle, but now pinched. Got to be worried about the right side. That tree is OP and we all know it, but so is the little bit of wall that sticks right next to him, so it makes it a little bit tricky for them to hit now. Not cross towards the site either, so there's still a chance here for SK to deny this one. Now the bomb goes down. Taco only with a CZ, does have an M4 to pick up. Not sure if that was spotted out. No, Rixo didn't see this, so still a chance for Taco. After plant positions work okay, because as soon as he kind of takes the fight on one, there should be... No. Falls back towards the site. Plays this one to the time. Taco desperately trying to find him now, trying to work out the odds and the favors he does. It goes so favorably well to him. Not sure what the play was coming out from Singularity there, but again, in those individual situations, it does get into your head a little bit. You start to feel that pressure, but still, a good round from Singularity, but it goes SK's way.
Yeah, and that's something that when they look back at the demos now, Singularity, when they look back either later today or tomorrow after the tournament, this is a round where they'll think, okay, we shouldn't have lost this. That's 9 out of 10 times.
But again, you look at it this way, right? And this is something that I think it was actually Semphis who said it first when I started to listen to him. You know, he does those big spiels with other YouTube videos. But it was, you know, a good in-game leader, a good tactician can get you to the sites, it can get you bomb plants, but then it becomes an individual sort of affair to try and lock it down or play retake. It always is. It's very tough to script that sort of stuff. So you should see clutches go in the way of SK. They should be shut out these rounds through that sort of method. But for now, it's a gorgeous game we're going to see so far, 7-6. It may not stay this way on the second half. That could be completely different. But for now, we're getting a great game. Yeah,
this is the perfect start to this DreamHack ASTRO Open here in Sweden. And what a game to start off. No Swedish teams in this first game, but still great CS. And that's what pretty much categorizes Sweden.
Joe, this categorizes what I love about DreamHack as well. These Singularity came through the EU qualifiers. You know, these guys were the biggest underdogs we've seen in a tournament like this. They stand out a lot, and they're putting up a challenge. They're putting up a great fight. Furtho wants that to stop. He doesn't like this narrative. He doesn't like that storyline. And now Fallen's got a bit of a chance to write his own chapter, as already Singularity start to play up towards middle. One player falls towards side. They're already coldzera reading it early, and the player around the back. They are pinched here. Singularity, a very tough situation.
Fallen going to get a couple of kills now easily. personally. And this is the smart thing about Fallen. He gets the first frag and then he rotates back because he knows there's no reason to overextend and risk his own life. And that's something that I like about SK Gaming. Like, they are playing conservatively, but they're playing like the smart kind of CS. They're taking chances, but when they take those chances, they get the small reward and then rotate back, play safe.
Yeah, they are quite the cerebral side. You look at the team and it is a very good balance of play.
Oh,
you know, a lot of firepower, obviously, a lot of smart plays coming through. There's a lot of people who envy that sort of player combination. But finally, Singularity's money has been broken. It felt like they had that going for so long. So the quick smoke's probably towards door on the side of the drop, I can imagine. And maybe a quick hit to follow. We'll find out. One of those smokes last time failed towards the door, so there could still be trouble, but they're already out, actually, straight through towards Speedway. These three players are backing away. They're caught in a real problem. Phelps and Cold Zero, though, calm under pressure, cool under this, dealing with it well, and a quick rotate round the back. No threat, no harm, no foul. Do get a bomb plant, 2 kills as well to boot. Not too bad.
I was kind of like, why were they not smoking Speedway? And that was why they were not smoking Speedway.
Just power down it.
Run straight at it with Tech 9s. And that's the way to do that as well, because you're in a situation there where it's going to be a very hard round. If you can get the first frag and get the bomb down, then you have a chance, and that's kind of what they're going for. And that was, like, accomplished. Afterwards, not really much happened for them, but still, they get that bomb down, and they kind of get a bit of kills as well, so they can stay in the game here. And let's see what's going to happen as we move further into this game, because this has been a great start.
So let's recap a little bit. So let's say people didn't watch the very start of this one, they've just tuned in, and they're just like, what the hell is this scoreline? Who are these guys? Because you know who these guys are. You're very well aware. Obviously, everyone knows who SK are. We don't need to kind of recap that one, but let's give people a little bit of a glimpse who these guys are and how they got to this point, because they lost out on one of their very, more, I guess, notable players at one point, so it's kind of hard to put them into perspective now, but they seem to have done okay here.
Yeah, so. Singularity is one of these upcoming Danish teams in the same category as you have Tricked or you have North Academy, in that kind of like 4th to 6th position in Denmark. And they recently lost their best player, ANJ, who is currently, no one is sure where he's going to end up, but...
when the rumors come out.
Yeah, he's going to end up somewhere nice, I'm sure. And then they've picked up Refresh, who was a former Copenhagen Flames player, also a young talent, but he's not kind of playing the same role as ANJ, because ANJ was a star player, and he was the mad frag, and he was the reason they won Copenhagen Games. So now, Singularity had to rotate the roles around for a bit, and they need to depend on everyone getting frags instead of just ANJ, and that's why Insta, the in-game lead, is now stepping up. Luki's finally stepping up. He's almost turned 18, and this is his time to shine.
Well, Rixo's got to shine now. 5 players pouring through. One does fall, but no more to be found. Further, just going to power himself through this, as now SK swiftly take the site. Molly goes in, denies the play, but they're already jumping through a balcony. They're burning alive. They've got to get out of this one, and it's an absolute bloodbath. And it does actually go down to 1v1, and Refresh wins it. That's insane. What a way to start off this half. Both teams just go, full in. No one sits back. No one just takes it calm, cool, and collected. No, both quickly rotate. Both hit the side. That's insanely fast.
Talking about calm, cool, and collected, something that I would like to point out. Singularity have not yet been like yelling or going off momentum or anything like that, as
Their
you would
coach
expect.
looked like...
They are so chilled out right now, and they are so focused. And that's the one thing that I thought could be their downfall in this game, is that they get too hype. Yeah. They're 8-8 with SK now, and they're not hype yet.
I don't know what to say anymore. These are the games you walk, very carefully. It's an eggshell game, right? 'Cause you don't want to get too excited by the fact that maybe an underdog's actually going to really give us a challenge. But then again, you also don't want to see SK, who could win a tournament, go out early. It's a hard one. It pulls on the heartstrings here. Let's see if Taco's got anything to say about this before we get into that. He is. That's a little awkward for Refresh, but nicely done individually from Taco. Again, I'm never surprised when I see the individual power from SK. They are very, very talented players all in all. Phelps going to show a little bit of leg towards A long, but that's not where the bomb is right now. But SK just testing out the waters. There's no need to commit. They're pulling out the utility from Singularity, and they might just start pressuring towards drop.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you have to notice about SK Gaming. Like, even though that they're having a game that's not one of their best ones, as we can surely say, they're still playing smart and constantly just thinking about their decisions. And as you said, a very cerebral team, one of the smartest in the scene right now. And that's why I and almost everyone else in the scene has so much respect for them.
And Fur baiting the sound on drop just before was so nice, just jumping down to make him peek out. But didn't commit to, of course, but still, there's only 2 players left now of Singularity. They have been kind of a little down at this point. They're struggling to keep themselves together here. Now, Rixo does have a shot at this if he looks polar down. Never something you want to be having fun with, but the window's now the next threat, and there we go. Nicely worked together there, pulling the attention. One-way hit on the other side. Well played. Now the 2v2 retake kicks in, though. 2 UMPs against, 2 other SMGs. So it's, again, not favoured massively towards one side, but they've got to get this one going, and Cold Zero already finding one. It's not going to make this easy now for Rixo. Nade comes in, doesn't connect. Does have a kit. But I just don't see him working this one out. It's going to be so hard. SK nicely played off in the end.
Also, MP9 long range is almost impossible. So when you're up against the UMP 45s, they have been nerfed longer range, of course, in the latest update, but still, they're just way better than the MP9 and the Deagle as it comes down to, in fact. So, SK Gaming stabilizing a bit here. Off the back of some good individual qualities. Attack, of course, getting that opening. And once again, that Deagle just works wonders. 3k for him in this round here, stepping it up.
I love the way the Deagles come back into play because it felt missing in CS:GO for so long. There was a couple of players who like toyed with it, like I guess Pith was one of them. Pith was one of the first players to like really start playing around it, and Nico became famous for it. Now he's seeing so many more people come back around to this. It feels nice to see it back, but anyway, a little bit of a double stack towards A-Long for now, just trying to pick up a gun, maybe do a little bit of damage. You're not expecting much if you're Singularity in this round. No. And Fur being this far already, he's going to get great deals of information. Nicely done between these guys. And this is the thing with SK, it's something that actually Sponge brought up as well. It's more like a note about CS, but the way that teams will check something, but not with the necessarily like the intention of someone being there, right? You just go through the habit of like, oh, I've just got to, you clear this corner, but you're not assuming that someone's there. But SK, when you watch them go through these, normally, especially on their T side, they're so methodical about the way they go through it. They don't just like, do it for the sake of doing it. They actually do it with the full intention of what they're going to try and achieve, and it works well for them. But for now, they've kept the money humble now for Singularity, so SK should be able to start taking a lead back in their hands.
Yeah, and this is what we expected, because it's, of course, on the T side where you can kind of try and dictate the pace of the game, and if you have a good couple of rounds and you can destroy the CT economy, as we saw Singularity do, you can get an upset-like result. You can get 8 or 7 rounds on that T side. But when it comes to playing SK Gaming, when they're on the T side and they can dictate the pace and they know exactly what's going on, it's going to be incredibly hard. And that's only where the best teams in the world can compete with SK. And this is what we're seeing right now. And what, of course, I would hope to see something else, but what I think we're going to see for the rest of this half.
No, I completely agree. But nice work there from... That's the bomb as well. And okay, no armor, sadly, but... That's not bad. If he gets the follow-up, that would have been perfect. Not the case. coldzera going to be there waiting and working his way back around. So far, you look at this game, it's a respectable scoreline. It's more now, for me, what can Singularity do to hinder SK just building that momentum, getting right back in the game? So I didn't think for a second we weren't going to see SK win this. I think you'd be a madman if you went for that. I think everyone agrees. But it's been a lovely ride so far. These guys have shown us a really good game, straight to the double up as well on the CT side.
Yeah, this is also something that I think Vendetta pointed out as well. They need to have a good showing. It doesn't even matter if they, like, of course they're not going to win. I think it might have been Pimp. I'm sorry to either one. But if they just have a good showing and get 8, 10, 12 rounds, that's perfect for them, because this is a learning experience for Singularity. Playing on stage against one of the best teams in the world, if you can get a couple of rounds and kind of get into that mentality of how it's like, that teaches you so much as a Counter-Strike player.
Oh, absolutely. Lovely angle there from looking on long. And again, the follow-up. It's brilliant. It's what you want to be seeing. That's going to deny a lot, but will he expect the third? I think coldzera might get a bit of a freebie here. Here's the reload, and he's straight in there. Not going to hold back for a second. But still, a 4v3 to begin with. Singularity still have both of their AWPers up. That little bit of impact was exactly what you want to be seeing from Singularity.
Yeah, and also playing those off angles, the angles that you don't really expect. As SK Gaming, of course, as you mentioned, they check everything. But when you play an off angle that they're either 50-50 on checking or not checking at all, then you can get these kind of situations. Of course, evened out here, 3v3 right now, but only 2 smokes, flashbang and a Molotov on that SK Gaming side. So they need to open up with a duel as well, in my opinion, to get one of these sides down. And I think coldzera is going to be the flank here.
And this is going to be so hard to play. So Insta is sitting back at Coop. You've got a player kind of very passive by drop as well. Now, the molly and the smoke is going to give away a lot. Insta now going to be forced away from this sort of position. And there you go. coldzera now finds this is going to put pressure towards Connector as well. The bomb's actually going to come over anyway. Taco tries to make the play, but already coldzera in such a good spot here. He can deny the rotate. He's going to show presence. He can back off this as well now. Allow that bomb time to get into position. Let's see if they can hinder this any way, shape, or form. They still have the AWP up, and the bomb just crossed towards the site. What time as well. That was in the last couple of seconds.
Nice push from Console, and he gets into the side. Now it's coldzera against Insta. AWP against AK, and coldzera can get a 4K here, and he does so. Insta is taken out, and SK Gaming once again on this T side with the rotations, and as you pretty much mentioned throughout that entire play, just constantly making the right decisions there.
That was so nice from coldzera as well.
Yeah.
Like, if he starts to feel the game, you know what he can do as an individual. But this start, I really liked. This play along, just holding the off angle again, following up with the second towards Fur was really, really impressive for me. Not able to achieve much more than that beyond that, because again, when it comes down to those individual situations and those clutches, I've got to always favor SK in this, and that's why they're currently set on 12-8, and they push the money right back for Singularity. But for now, We'll see how clean SK can keep this one. Again, they want to keep their money up. So far, they have the perfect buy. So again, brilliant position for them. Early pick as well with almost no commitment towards anything, no utility put down beyond now. So they start to put the mollies in. Fer going to find that through the flames. And now Refresh going to push his way in towards drop, try and apply that side room off at E-Box.
That's perfect flash.
Yeah, it's SK. And this is what I like. They're so good at these anti-ecos as well. Like, they don't rush it, even though, okay, put it into context, right? The 12-8 up, perfect buy, perfect situation. They know the opposing side best as upgraded pistols. And, you know, they're still treating Singularity, you know, with this sort of, you know, regiment. They're coming into this with this sort of mentality. It's good stuff to see them this clean on it.
Yeah, and it's not because, like, when you look at this, of course you would expect every team to do this, but not every team does this. That's the point.
How many times
have we not seen a team make a stupid decision in a situation like this? And that's where SK Gaming stands out, because they never do that. Every single thing is thought about. Every single opportunities is considered. And this is nice from Insta, though. Misses a shot, but I like the idea.
Hey, look, getting information on the CT side at any single point on Cobblestone, I'm always a fan. It's never easy. The smokes come in, the flashes to follow as well. Going to be forcing them back a little bit off that B ideal positioning. They're going to force them a little bit towards Statue, a little bit towards Speedway. But again, SK having to use some of the utilities to do this, and there's been some retained by Singularity, so they can still at least kind of hinder their approach and try and slow them down. But Console really playing actively towards drop. You know, most teams, it feels like these days, just kind of forgo it. They sit outside, they just abscond away. They're like, nah, I'm all right without that. But again, we've seen how good SK are at taking this over. We'll see if they can do it again. Console, we'll see if he can maybe deny something. Goes over towards E-Box side. Nice little counter flash to come through if it's required, and a late boost towards a tree as well. SK still readying themselves for what looks like this B hit.
They've been waiting for a while now. Have not really thrown too much utility. Now utility goes into drop, and they take that control. The first one down. There's still one boosted tree, one back of sight. Good positions from Singularity, to be honest. The 3 on the side.
Yeah, but who's watching the drop push out at this point? I'm kind of curious, because
Yeah,
that tree position, it's horrible. Yeah, okay, so that's why. So they've fallen off tree because they didn't have control of drop anymore. It makes sense. SK are so all-encompassing. Look at the pressure. As soon as they actually break, it's like a wave breaking on the shore. They're so quick at that hit. It's so hard to handle. Singularity have to save now. And it was like a snake coiled in a basket, you know what I mean? As soon as it snaps, they're in there. It's so impressive to see how well they hit that. Because, you know, when you go into that B site, right, you go through the hope of, okay, well, this flash goes to and makes a player move away from here. This molly goes here. You're just hoping that it all works out. They hit in the site, they get the 3 perfect.
That was just, yeah, as you said, perfect from SK. And this is what we expect from them. Side takes like that on the T side is just textbook SK, and that's why they come here. They come here to win this and to dominate and show that they are this team that should be #1 in the world, which they are pretty close to. Well, right now, I think it's insanely close, more than it's ever been. But I think with this and the next tournaments coming up in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be decided, and this could be the first step of SK reclaiming that throne.
Oh, we all know it's been that up and down, very rocky road for them as of late. It's been. You know, they did have their little downturn in performance. They had a couple of, you know, awkward results where it just wasn't going their way. But recently we've seen that Fallen's starting to, you know, show that individual power again. It's not necessarily been in this game so much. I think Fer has really started to kind of come into his own in this sort of matchup. But again, beyond that, SK just need to reclaim what they had for a while. They try and get that consistency back, get that kind of cohesion back. And this is a perfect tournament to start in. As said, you know, they are indeed looking pretty solid overall, but this is a great round. Individually, they're not breaking in this time, SK. They've lost out on those opening picks, that opening foray into the round, and now they're down to 3.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the problem that SK has in this matchup. When they're trying to take individual duels and individual openings, they're not winning them. Like, it's always a 50-50 gamble, and it shouldn't be because they're better. But every single time SK Gaming just pulls it together and does one of their normal takes, they win out 100%. But when they start with these opening duels, Singularity gets a chance. That is cheeky from Fallen.
The little crouch underneath. Ugh, you hate to see it, because you know it's happened to you. It's like they're like, I couldn't even see him. What chance did I have? Flash goes into his own molly to offset the timing, gets it through as well. I think Luki might have heard this. I'm kind of curious if he's holding the angle. His off angles are really nice. The way he's been playing on long, he had that off angle in danger, and now up on long as well, very uncomfortable to play against. But still, it's down to Fer and coldzera to try and pull it back together. That B side not looking so vulnerable anymore. Fer does make it through at the timing of the flash, and actually has a lot of freedom. There is one player by Coop, but I don't know where he's watching. So if he's not watching this, well, he was, but it doesn't matter. Now there's a problem. They have smokes, they have mollies, they've got ways to shut down angles, and now Fer just needs to get the one by door. He doesn't. Now all in the hands of coldzera, but it's still coldzera, and it's a 1v3.
This is very possible.
He's got the bomb, and he's going to go for the fight. Finds one, spots another. Will he expect the guy close, though? Goes back in on the fight. Look at this guy, so aggressive. And he almost had the adjustment. It was close, but it was no cigar at the end. But you always think it's coldzera in a 1v3.
Yeah,
there's a chance.
Of course. But one thing that you highlighted that I would like to just agree on as well is the off angles from Luki. And that's something that I think is a part of their mentality of being a young player, because if you have older CS players, you're going to be almost locked in your roles. You know exactly what to do every single time. So you're kind of locked in that mindset. And that's, I think, well, young players are going to come in and say, hey, you all play this position like this. I'm going to play it completely different. And you're not going to expect it. And I think that's what he does and what many young players are doing right now. Why a lot of young players are coming in to see it, because they present a different mindset.
Yeah, well, you look at the kind of story of the North American side of things, which I'll get back to in a sec. Oh no, the timing's awkward. It's uncomfortable. What's his How is he doing that? 2 kills. What are SK up to? Jumping into his arms lovingly? I don't think this is the right game for that, boys. Phelps, though, going to just power his way through towards the side. The molly's not going to help out, but the frag certainly will. Console. Hopefully someone will console him after that frag. You always hate to be on the receiving end, but Phelps looking like he wants the ace as well. 2 players standing, already gets 3. Insta slowly creeps his way through, only to be seen by Fallen. Bomb planted, SK large and in charge.
Yeah, 2 men on the side and 1 guy holding on mid from a very defensive posture. That's perfect. Post-land positions for SK. And but yeah, as you said, we're about to talk about the North American players as well. Like that whole mindset of how you can look at the game differently, because right now the skill seeding is so, like, every team is so good. So it's the last like 5 or 3% that can decide a game, and that's a new mindset.
Difference, right? It's like you look at Stewie and Automatic, the way they came into the scene as well. Very happy to say, you know, we sat there and we just watched demos of people, look how people play, and I'm going to find a different way to play against you. I'll learn how you play this, you know. And I like that. I like the very like keen approach to it, that very self-aware approach. So I hope to see new players breaking in, and this is why, again, you know, tournaments like this, when you get that kind of, I guess, the open end of the European qualifiers, you get to see potential new players breaking through. So always awesome to see. But so far, let's kind of take this back into perspective, because the first half was quite volatile. It was one of those where it was like, this could be quite interesting, and it has been. It's, you know, it's 15-9 right now. It's still a good scoreline, but overall, once SK got on that T side, it's all been theirs.
Yeah, and we've seen every single time they do a standard setup or a standard take or execute towards a bomb side, they just get it with very few casualties, and that is what we were kind of expecting from this matchup. But then again, we have to give kudos to Singularity, because they have been taking one-on-one duels, one-on-one peaks, openings against SK Gaming and winning them consistently. This is something that no one would have ever predicted.
No, it's been very impressive thus far. But the problem is their buy into this possible final round is pretty shoddy. And SK, again, treating this almost like their anti-eco. You can see Fur doing the same thing he likes to do normally. Spots out 2 players, though. Now can make that call. 1 player up close, spots out again. Oh, the timing on this could be a disaster, though. Yes, the 2 players actually win out on towards B for Singularity. I think they might have been able to recover at least 1 gun from this. And there it is. Insta's got 1. Not too bad at all.
And this is where I would like Singularity to just hold back. And I was afraid the console was going to jump through that window. If he'd done that, he would obviously be dead. But right now, he's just holding the position. And, well, you can't really do much against that when Taco just comes out and takes your head off.
Yeah, heads are rolling after that. coldzera gonna give him a little bit of the treatment as well. And now Console, that Nova better sing as he comes around the corner. It does do the work. They're now down to a 2v2. But look where the bomb is.
This is interesting, to say the least.
What are you going to do, Fallen?
A side is completely clear, so he could just go ahead and plant there. But he's going to, of course, join up with his teammate. That is the smart thing to do in a 2v2 on a T side. Just join up and play together.
You got to feel for Console. It's like, where's your gun going to come from at this point? Just going to stick with the Nova and just make, you know, a bit of a hope and a prayer. But the boost comes in towards a tree.
Nice.
Always lovely. Spots him out there. A bit risky to go for that again on the double jump up back. But still, Taco does find it. And now it's just 1. The off-angle king that I've started to enjoy to watch. Luki here with a UMP just to hand. 74 HP. Stands in the way of SK Gaming closing now. Maybe a round after. Fallen, though. Bomb now down. Taco is pretty low, facing at the same time. Double face closes it down 16-9. A valiant attempt from Singularity. But you've got to bring more if you want to try and topple SK. They stabilize in the second half. They look solid overall. And I've got to say, impressive as it was to watch Singularity, the way SK never looked truly flustered. They never, you know, dropped the ball. They kept themselves collected and calm and just closed out the game.
Yeah, that was very impressive. And also, like they reset themselves, went onto the T side, said, this is our game now. Now we control the pace. We decide what we want to do and how this match is going to progress. And they did exactly that. There was nothing to be had for Singularity in that second half.
But you've got to say as well, for other teams in this tournament, looking at Singularity, they're not just going to be a pushover. They're not a walk in the park. They pick up 9 rounds against SK on a map like Cobblestone as well. You put it back into perspective, we saw that veto, we're all just sitting there going, what have you done?
Yeah.
But no, very well done from those guys. A couple of players certainly standing out as well that kind of caught our attention through this. So again, good to see that the qualifying side of things in towards the DreamHack tournaments are actually providing some really good teams to actually watch so far.
Yeah, and as you said, like if we go into a situation where we imagine Mousesports or Immortals perhaps having a bad day, what can Singularity do against them then? That's a really interesting storyline.
Yeah, you do start to see the possibility of something quite fun coming through this tournament. Again, it's a lot of this as well. A lot of these teams are in a state of flux at the moment, aren't they? You look at, I guess, Mousesports' potential to go through and do wonderful things. They had a great run in the Pro League not too long ago online. You saw, Rob's coming in, all these players really starting to shine. And then you can look anywhere into the teams in this tournament. You look at Fnatic trying to rebuild themselves again back towards, glory, and there's so many things to be looking at. So an upset team coming in like this, who could cause any sort of problems, or maybe, even if getting a really good start. Imagine a team playing against Singularity here, who got a great T side, got in their heads, and then actually were able to compete on that second half. That could have been such a different, ordeal altogether.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is going to be an interesting tournament, to say the least.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting on stage right now. I think we're waiting to hear if Parler's ready. I think he is. So let's head down to Parler and see what Fallen had to say about that one, eh?
Thank you very much, Risk and Pansy. Fallen, congratulations. It's good to see you again. How is it to be back at DreamHack?
Hello, everyone. I'm very proud to be here. When we made the change in 2015, when we added FNX and Taco, this was the first tournament we played together, so a lot of memories. It's always great to be here in Sweden. People love Counter-Strike, love games, so I'm very happy to be here.
Fortunately, you started this tournament better than you did with that initial 2015 change. 16-0, something like that. This time, 16-9. Did you expect Singularity to get that many rounds?
I think they did a great job in the first half. They played super well. They have good picks. They got me off guard a little bit on the beginning. And they have good synergy. But in the second half, I think we did a better job. But they played super well. Props to them. I wasn't expecting that level. And that's how it is on Europe. Teams that sometimes you'll often don't have the chance to see them play, they're pretty good.
As a favorite, what is the best approach to playing an underdog team like you just did?
So we really don't have so much information on how they're going to play. So there's a lot of ways you can play. At the beginning, we were just trying to play kind of a default way as CT, but they kept finding kills, and mainly on me, because they are just aiming me. Like the first one I was waiting with the WP and he just crouch picked and killed me. I was like, all right, okay. And then the second I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be strafing here, getting some information, and then boom, they double pick and get me strafing. So I really have no idea. But you have a lot of options to when you play underdog teams, but the most useful and I think the most secure way is to play your own game and don't fall into traps or don't overthink too much.
Final couple of questions. This tournament, you guys, I think, arguably are the favorites. Do you see yourselves as such, and what are your expectations for the event?
I don't think we are the favorites. I think there are a lot of good teams here. Fnatic's here, Immortals is playing super well lately. It's going to be a good tournament, and we're here to do what we do the best, that is play Counter-Strike. We're going to try to play at a high level, try to bring our game, and I know that if we play our best, we can win this tournament. So that's our mentality. That's how I want to take it.
And talking about big tournaments, starting with this, you have a long stretch now of many tournaments back to back. How do you deal with the pressure? How do you keep yourselves and your team going?
Yeah, so just for the people who doesn't know yet, we just got here in Europe. There's going to be like 45 days, if I'm not wrong, or maybe even more. It starts here and it's going to end at the major. So there's a lot of tournaments to be played. We're going to have some spare time to use as practice as well. So we're going to try to do what to do. Always like you use our time to really practice better, because I think in Europe you can really have very good practice. Some teams that sometimes you don't know them, they play super well, and that's good for practice. So we're going to try to do our best and take the most titles we can.
Awesome. Gabriel, it's great to see you again. Any final words?
Thanks, guys. Thanks for everyone who was here in the crowd cheering. A lot of people here. Now people, I think they went to eat, but very cool to see you guys here. And for everyone who is home, thanks for watching.
Awesome. We will see you later on in the competition. But for now, we will head back to Alex and the guys on the Corsair analyst desk.
Thank you so much, Parla. Yes, Fallen, always gracious in both victory and defeat. And SK did fulfill our predictions and expectations from that one. We get to see them pick up the win. Admittedly, I think eyebrows were raised by Singularity, and I don't think we can complain here. Jacob, we'll start with you. I mean, 16-9. You saw SK taking it, but that first half, did you not get just a little bit nervous?
I wouldn't say I was nervous, but I didn't expect them to show up as great as they did. It was Fallen said it pretty well. Like, they were taking advantage of getting those early peaks, and they often you see teams being able to do that, but actually capitalizing and winning the rounds after getting the first pick. Sometimes it's hard for the less skilled and less good teams, and they were able to do so in the beginning, which is a great sign going further in the tournament when they go up against teams like Mousesports, Immortals, who arguably are a little bit less skilled and less prepared than SK, you'd say. So I was a little bit surprised, but again, we got what we expected, and I think Singularity can be happy with the showing, and they they're faithful for the best of 3 game now, I think.
Yeah, giving them some love. However, aim seemed to be Fallen's problem with them. They actually can hit shots.
Yeah, no, they definitely can, and that's what you see with a lot of the newer generation players. They don't necessarily have the most well-rounded game, but they do have aim, and that can, obviously that can take you quite a bit of the way, not all the way, but as we saw, that it does allow you to have opportunities where you can get pickoffs and get rounds off the back of that. As long as you have someone within the team, or if you're structured enough as a unit to actually, as Jacob said, capitalize off of those advantages you create for yourself. So that was really nice to see from Singularity. Especially Lucky was doing a really good job actually finding those opening kills a lot of the time for Singularity. So it's a a very promising sign for them going into other matchups, because one of the downsides of playing SK is the fact that even if you find 1 or 2 opening picks, you can still very easily lose the round, because SK kind of have a plan B, plan C, plan D for any sort of scenario that might arise. And I don't think that's going to be the case for teams like Immortals and Mousesports necessarily at this stage where they're at.
Was there a little bit of... I just realized you can see our socks. There's no shoes on the carpet, guys. No shoes on the carpet. I'm not just rocking these for fun. I'm going to tuck in a little bit. Let's get intimate. What I was trying to ask was more about how much of SK's game did they have to play there, Jacob? We don't see any of those crazy smoke executes onto B. Was it just kind of default SK? The vanilla SK. Yeah, and like Fallen said himself, the best thing you can do is play your own game, and SK own game is to play default, get the peaks, play with the rotations, and be annoying as hell, Players like Fur and especially Fallen as well, and Phelps, now that he's on the lineup, they're annoying to play against, because you never really know where you have them. You're gonna have Fallen. There was a round where Fallen walked up in middle, and you'd assume that, okay, that's gonna be an A hit, but then you had 2 players on B long going out B long, and they were close to winning the round, I believe. Came down to a 1-on-1. You never really can count on where they are, and SK's default is just so strong, so they don't need to do more, and I don't think they need to do more in this tournament, honestly. Oh, they could get away with that gameplay throughout? If they do it well enough, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like playing against organized chaos. At least that's probably what it feels like when you're playing against SK, because stuff is happening everywhere on the map, so you're just sitting there I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what kind of, what you can draw from what you're finding out of in terms of information. That's like you said, you find Fallen in mid, so it's probably going to be an integral part of what they're doing. No, he's just kind of, on a bit of an adventure towards A for once. Sure. But, yeah, that's going to be a tough task for any team to find out. But I'm not really sure if they can rely, or being as default, not necessarily, at least on all maps. On Cobble, they can probably get away with it, but when they run into teams, if Fnatic are firing on all cylinders, or if Gambit are coming in from the laboratory with new strategies, or just a new mindset altogether, after their bit of an extended break, I think we'll have to see something more out of SK, especially because they've also said that they have some doubts about their map pool as it is right now. I mean, talking of break, I think we'll go ahead and take one. Gambit have been taking quite the holiday before this tournament, though we haven't really seen too much of them. They made a splash last DreamHack Open over in Texas, and now we wait to see what they can do again. Can they replicate their success, back-to-back DreamHack Open titles, or will CLG prove too much to start their group stage? We'll take a break, and when we do return, we'll get to see Gambit versus none other than CLG. If you're interested in following one of these players or one of these teams more specifically, there is an app for that. It's known as Strafe, one of the sponsors here for DreamHack Open Jönköping, for of course DreamHack Summer. You can see it there. Go ahead and check it out. Get it on your smartphone for iOS and Android, and it helps you keep follow of some of your favorite players in more intimate details. We'll take a break. When we come back, CLG will be battling versus their Gambit, who have just returned from their vacation.